That's the best explanation of the stall I've ever heard.
And you just had that in your head.
Doesn't everyone?
Not surprised.
Those are the kind of things they're going to be telling people for God knows how long when they're outside barbecuing or they're at work or whatever. That story lives.
And all of that trimming of the very schmeasly amount of 4,000 or 5,000 briskets. Wayne, where's the deckle?
Bend over, I'll show you.
Welcome to Smokeless. I'm Nick with Stanley's Famous Pit Barbecue and Tyler. And as always, I am here with Wayne Miller from Louie Mueller BBQ in Taylor and Justin Fourton from Pecan Lodge in the greater area of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Hey, what's up, dudes?
What's up, dudes?
Here we are. Maybe we'll have a chance today to talk about what most backyard cooks get wrong.
I get calls all the time from people wanting to know what to do, how to fix it.
Yeah, I get text messages of pictures of meat upside down. It's happened a few times. Wayne, do people text you and ask you about advice for the backyard?
Yeah, there's been some wild stories along the way. Yes, but here's my card. If you need anything, text me. What do you think's going to happen? You know?
Yeah.
You invite that sort of thing. But it's, I don't mind. I really don't mind that at all.
No.
Because if somebody's got the balls to actually reach out and say, hey, man, I don't know if you remember me, and then go into their issue for the day, like it's happening right now.
Yeah, right now.
It's never, I'm doing this in a week or I'm doing this tomorrow. It's like, I'm right now in the middle of this and this is a situation. It's like, what? Oh, fuck me, man. Merlin has to come out. You got to pull some real tricks out of your butt. But I find it's entertaining. It's almost challenging in a way because you get a chance to see if you can actually help them salvage what they just royally fucked up,
Yeah.
They're always thankful, man. And, it's the best way to make apostles and acolytes to your cause
For sure.
by handing out just one-on-one feedback, direct, assistance to whatever they're struggling with. I promise you, those are the kind of things they're going to be telling people for God knows how long when they're outside barbecuing or they're at work or whatever. That story lives. And they just preach it. And we all know word of mouth is still the gold standard for advertising. So God knows how many people you get actually direct and derivative influence from just from a single interaction like that, And then if you can help them do something, that turns out really good, I mean, now you're truly on a different level,
Right.
They're beside themselves. So I make that offer. It isn't taken up nearly as often as I thought it should be, but that's the way that is. That's probably a good thing. I don't want to be overwhelmed either, but what about you?
It could be pretty fun. Like, how about this, everybody? What have you got wrong? Maybe we can help you solve it. Clearly, we're not going to be able to be the Merlin in the moment. If you guys want to talk about what you got wrong and have 3 Texas barbecue pitmasters weigh in, hit us up at hello@smokelesspodcast.com. Send us pics, send us your questions. Could be anything, like about the deckle. Everybody seems to get the deckle wrong. Do you guys know what the deckle actually is? Me and Wayne had a super serious debate about this not long ago, fairly late at night at the kitchen table. We were laughing a lot. I don't know why, what was so funny about the deckle, but it was really, really funny. Spritzing, too much, too little, not at all. Probe tender, does that solve everything? Pellet grills, what do you guys think about pellet grills? Does more smoke equal better barbecue? Do you have to have expensive meat to make great barbecue? Does brisket need sauce? What about the stall, you guys?
I have that answer.
Yeah, I get asked that a bunch.
Yep, stall.
I'll tell you that answer.
Let's go.
It's a very simple answer to this. This is Newton's first law of thermodynamics. You're converting mass from a solid to a liquid. As you input additional energy into this system, eventually the melting point or the rendering point in our situation of the fat is the temperature at which you're going to continue to add energy into the system. And all it's going to be doing is adding to the melting of the fat. It's not adding to the temperature of the meat. Until that fat is rendered sufficiently you won't see that temperature rise considerably at all. Thus, you have this stall for, depending on the size of the brisket, hour and a half, 2.5 hours, whatever it might be. Once it finally crawls out of that, it is determined, the system has determined that more than 50% of that mass, solid mass that can be converted to liquid, has been. And so now that heat is being distributed back out through the system, it's not working to change the phase of that mass from solid to liquid. You got that?
That's the best explanation of the stall I've ever heard.
And you just had that in your head.
Doesn't everyone?
Not surprised.
No, I fumble through that
surprised.
answer all the time. That was the most concise, clear, scientific way I've ever heard it explained.
My answer is always just cook hotter through the stall and you'll be fine. Just start stepping up and eventually you'll get through it. Clearly not that explanation. Wayne, thank you. It's fucking brilliant. I mean, you got all, that's like super deep.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't make the law, you know? I mean, I'm just applying it. But
Right.
I mean, it's a big question, right? I mean, people have said a million different explanations. I've heard them all. Like I've heard them all on the deckle. I've heard them all.
Wayne, this is going to be hard for you to answer, but I think about this a lot, probably way too much. If you could put a number, how many briskets do you think you've cooked?
Good grief.
Man, that's a good question. Because we're not talking about a linear graph. Ballpark about 50,000.
I bet that's way low too. I bet that's low.
I don't know. I mean, now, granted, this doesn't mean start to finish on all of them, but my hand's in all of the processes every day. How's that?
I love it.
That counts.
Okay.
So let's imagine that you've trimmed close to that many ish too, because
no, I haven't trimmed that many. I've probably trimmed, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 maybe, to be honest. I did a lot more trimming earlier and now I'm doing more trimming, but in the middle I had a much larger team who could do a lot of the prep and the trim.
So in all of that trimming of the very schmeasly amount of 4,000 or 5,000 briskets, Wayne, where's the deckle?
Bend over, I'll show you.
Well,
It is. Okay, where is it not? Is it on top of the brisket?
I think most people think that the deckle is the
point,
is the fat ear that most people they cut it off because it's on the edge and they think it's this big
knob.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in honesty, that's an extension of the deckle. That's a tentacle of the deckle. The deckle is really that fatty membrane that, just like that intermuscular fat between the point and the flat, it's very similar to that, except it holds the flat to the rib cage.
Right.
So, but you got to remove it. And I mean, that's specifically why you get briskets packed as deckle off. I mean, it's not going to tell you deckle's off if it's sitting right there in front of you.
Right. They removed the biggest part of the deckle when they process it.
Yes.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. No. What you get is that river of intramuscular fat that separates the point and the flat. That will extend down, but it's not the deckle. The deckle is that adhesion, that connective tissue that holds all of these cow pieces together. The flat, the rib cage, the squish.
It's something that we probably really don't want to see.
No, and I mean, what would we do with it? If we did nothing with it, it would overfill our grease pans.
Yeah.
At a rate that we would have to dump that multiple times a day, easily. And then you're losing whatever you season it with on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to wind up, and it's hard anyway. So, I mean, it doesn't break down. It's got a lot of collagen in it. If you've ever tried to render that stuff out, grind it down and then render it, it's got all of that oatmeal looking stuff there at the end after you've rendered most of the fat. The rest of that's just collagen, like gelatin. Yeah. So it's tough. That's real hard stuff. That's why you don't make sausage out of that fat.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use beef fat, you use cover fat.
Right.
Many people don't know that either. They'll try to use that others, and so you'll get these gristly pieces in your sausage, and that's exactly where that comes from. Because it's like, where the hell did this come from? It came off of, most of the stuff is just bull meat trim, whatever. Maybe some, in our case, just trim straight from the brisket. It's like, what was going to be chewy like that on a brisket? Well, really tough fat. Be informed. Sound important. Sound like you know what you're talking about. Fucking identify a decal correctly, please, for the love of God, and all that is beefy.
Beefy and decally.
And believe me, I didn't always know this. I was corrected at Camp Brisket many years ago by Jeff Seville, who was still head of the meat sciences department at A&M. Oh yeah, he gave me a full lowdown on the whole thing, and I'm like, I am such a moron to not know that. Thank you.
Are you though? Not really. But well, what a cool experience. I'm glad you got to do that. That seems like a really fascinating thing.
It was cool. Those sessions, they sell out so fast, you know? I mean, they're up for like seconds and they'll sell out the class. It is still in that high a demand because, you know, you have people from Texas A&M who are there telling you about what the hell's going on and why there are differences and what you should be looking for, and then giving practical, empirical data, people coming, pit guys cooking for you, showing you how the process works. It really is a highly informative and almost hands-on sort of class. They do a great job. I can't speak high enough about it.
I've done it once. I've been through that once, and it was very early on when they started it, maybe like the first or second year that they've done it. But I know it's grown since then, and it seems like it's almost a prerequisite for people to take that class before they open a restaurant now. I would guess that most people on the list have had like that.
Oh, wow.
They've got that stamp of approval. I've done Texas Monthly barbecue class, you know.
It is pretty incredible because now that you say that, I have met so many people I met there for the first time who were definitely going to open their own place and went on to do so and so at a high level, mind you. So
other states, not just Texas, but all across the country.
Yes. Yes. 100%. So, like I said, I can't speak high enough about it. It's not just for your backyard person. I mean, it's enthusiasts. Yeah. But I mean, people who are on a different level of detail, they need to know because this may actually be an income opportunity for them that they're going to pursue. So they're taking it very seriously. And you can tell by the questions when they want to talk to you, what they want to talk to you about. I have always been impressed by everybody who comes through there, whether they're, you know, a speaker, a professor, someone taking the class, the grad assistants and the undergrads who lend a hand in making sure the whole event comes off well. Just the university's support of it. It's, you know, they have done Texas barbecue a tremendous service in what they've done. They help make all of what we do at a higher quality, right? Because they are bringing people along in educating them, the people who already have the desire to cook well, but this is to understand well at the same time and not just be, you know, one-dimensional cook. I'm going to be multidimensional in understanding the environment that I'm creating and how to best survive in it. I think that's the type of interest that people have when they go to that. Either one of them, Camp Brisket and the other, I forget what the other one is, in the summertime.
And it's super hands-on. Like you learn the anatomy, like you butcher a cow, right? Like you go through every step of it, but then they take it a step further and they have like a whole bunch of different kind of pits and smokers and like
types of
wood. Go through cooking process too, right?
Oh yeah, they do comparative cooks. Well, this is what hickory tastes like, and this is what oak tastes like, and this is what pecan tastes like, and they'll do, you know, the same cut, the same grade, same rub to get a true comparative just based on smoke flavor. and how heat from each one also fluctuates a bit differently. So you may have a darkening or maybe a thicker smoke ring on one wood than you would on another. Things you might not really think about or really may not even matter unless you have a strong preference for a particular wood flavor.
When I went through it, we were cooking exclusively with mesquite, and we went through and did the taste test. And I'm like, shit, I like hickory and oak. That was an immediate change. We started cooking with a blend of those two woods.
Right.
Yeah. And how would you have known that otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, unless you took the time to, order a pallet of oak and a pallet of hickory and, go through that, that's
in your spare time.
Right. Right.
Which, by the way, I think is really funny because you started cooking with mesquite, and I was cooking with pecan and then a pecan oak blend, and now you're cooking with hickory, and I'm cooking with mesquite. It's so wild.
That is wild.
It's so wild.
Mesquite's not like that was what I grew up. Come from West Texas. I mean, it was mesquite everything, but it was mainly grilling and mesquite. It was great for grilling, high heat, really, really fast temperature rise on it. I liked the flavor of it. But it was, cooking in the offset pit, an entire cook with the mesquite was very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Because you're getting up every 45 minutes to an hour to put wood on the fire. Then when I started blending in the hickory and the oak, all of a sudden that stretched like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I could get like a little bit of sleep at night before I had to go back out there and do it. So, part of it was flavor, and part of it was like, just, my God, I've got to do something to get some more sleep.
So what you're saying is that you're lazy.
That's a little bit of lazy.
Mesquite's
if you consider spending the night at the restaurant and getting up, hour and a half or 2 hours, putting wood on the fire and then working in the restaurant the other 12 hours of the day, lazy. But essentially, I mean, it was like, it's not sustainable for me to cook with mesquite for a 14-hour cook.
Well, since I have you, Justin, and just a reminder, we're talking about what most backyard cooks get wrong. Justin, since you're on the line right now, do you think you need expensive meat to make great barbecue at home?
No, because we didn't start cooking with expensive meat. And when we had the peak of our recognition, it was CAB. It was choice. It was CAB. At some point we switched to the prime CAB when the prices weren't a whole lot different, but that was several years down the road. I mean, I think to a certain degree it matters, but you don't have to cook prime. You don't have to go Wagyu to get the result if you're patient and you're paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. Ask Tootsie about that.
Yeah.
I really wish we could talk to her about anything. Wayne and I have gone and visited her in the middle of the night, which was it was just one of the coolest things. That was way back in the day.
Yeah.
One of those nights when I was hanging out with you in the middle of the night at the Cathedral of Smoke, and you said, let's go for a ride. And we went to Snow's in the middle of the night, and that was so rad. I'll never, ever, ever forget that. I would love to talk to her. I wish we could. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
we might have to go to her.
I'll reach out to her.
Either way, that would be amazing. We can go see her. We'll just go see her again, and we'll figure out a way to make it work.
That trip would be worth it in every way.
One thing that she's definitely not doing is cooking things until it reaches a certain temperature. I think that's one thing that people are doing in the backyard, right? They just have this idea that when you get to this temperature, it's done. Pull it. We don't cook that way, right?
Can't. Artisanship just won't allow it, right? If you're trying to homogenize something, then the best you're going to hope for is to fit in a quality range, right? Yeah. But what we're shooting for is a very tight range of quality deviation. So it's got to be high and it's got to be flat. It's got to be the same. And that's hard as shit. And you can only do that how? You got to feel it, right? I mean, temperature is no more than you're a bombardier and you're coming near your bombing zone and you're being alerted. Okay, target in 5 clicks. All right. Well, it could come up maybe quicker, maybe not, but you won't know until you see it fucking in your scope. then you're dropping. Same way with brisket. Two identical can be 5 degrees apart, right next to each other. And that's just the way it is. I mean, no two briskets are made the same. No two locations in the pit are the same. The airflow's different. Hot and cold spots are different. I mean, you just have too many variables to rely on anything to provide stability and consistency. It's not an oven. It's a primitive oven. It's a paleo oven, right? It's just old time. There's no regulator. You're it. So you got to pluck them when they're done, not tell them they're done when they're not.
Hands on. Well, and that's kind of the unique thing about us when we have a pit full of briskets is we have to check a bunch and we're picking them up and we're feeling them. Whereas in the backyard, they may only have one. So I think that's why people might be more comfortable with a probe and being like, oh, we're at 200, we need to pull and rest or whatever. But I think it's important for everyone to understand what you're feeling for so that ultimately that's how you're going to understand the result that you're getting. Because again, the probe may not be telling the truth about what that perfect moment is. The feeling it, that's the touchdown. That's how you know.
Yeah, P, I think in the backyard, if you're cooking 3 or 4 briskets a year, it's very hard to develop that touch and that feel for what you're doing. And that's why people want the definitive. They want the time, they want the temperature.
Especially when you got a pit full of briskets, you have 2 right next to each other that you can feel the difference. Oh, this one is definitively done. This one is not. It's easier to know. So how would you teach the feel if you've only got one brisket and nothing to compare it to? I mean, I guess you just got to really, it's so weird thinking about it from the backyard perspective. It's just one that I don't have.
Yeah. You almost have to develop your own scale for your personal use. Like if you're a football fan, you might say, well, after you've wrapped it, it probably still is as tense as an NFL leather ball. Yet when you're pulling it, it feels more like a Nerf ball when you try to compress it. That there's that much of a difference in give. And somewhere in this scale is where you're pulling and then resting this exact same way every time for the exact same length every time. That you can at least identify what that pull looks like. Maybe video as well as some description of your tension, your tension scale, your pushback scale, whatever you want to fucking call it, your spring back scale. I don't know. But ultimately, it's feeling for that, but not just anywhere, but feeling at certain points around both the flat and the point to make sure that, some places are broken down, but others are still incredibly tight. Because we have that problem in our pit because we have, briskets that'll run along the sidewalls. And if we miss a rotation or make it incorrectly where those briskets up against the walls don't make it to the center, then those sides of the brisket are going to be undercooked compared to the rest of the brisket for the rest of the cook. So, and we'll switch sides, so that we have the opposite side exposed for the same distance of time or duration of time.
And you're talking about the brick dragon right now, right?
I am talking about the dragon, man. She is something. She'll burn your ass.
Wayne, there's a whole entire barbecue video series. This is going to be the next big special where you're going to invite influencers and people who are cooks online to come, and the show is going to be called Can You Cook? And they're going to come and they're going to see if they can get a brisket cook done on the brick pit.
Yep. Tame the dragon. Let's see how well you do.
Tame the dragon.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. Come on.
And given the fact that you're probably only going to be cooking one, I still am trying to work through that. Maybe there's 3 and they have to be sort of staggered in some sort of fashion where they're not directly in line with each other. They're spread apart in a certain kind of way. Maybe one's in the center. 2 are on the sides, and you're going to have to keep 2 on the sides throughout your different rotations. That you have to keep 2 on the sides. It's the only way I can think of to simulate what we go through on any ordinary cook, right?
How many do you have in there generally at one time?
16 right now. So we've got 2 chambers with a set of 8 in each chamber. And they go buttress right up against the chamber with beef ribs. I really don't like to cook in there brisket because it starts out at, 290 and may go to 305. That just kicks the shit out of that very tip of the point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in short duration bursts, like 30, 35 minutes, it will still wear it the hell out. So, I mean, we got to rotate front to back, side to side, in to out. I don't generally go more than 16. What we'll do is then we'll cook out on our mobile pit. We'll start all the briskets out there plus the 16 we have inside. And then as we're pulling briskets off internally, creating space, we'll bring in additional briskets from outside. They just cook a lot slower out there. We have to be very careful. It's a close pit, and it can catch fire really easily if it's not immaculately cleaned between every cook. It doesn't take much fat sitting on those plates to just set that shit ablaze.
That ain't good.
No, it ain't good. I did that once in Cleveland at a wedding, and I was serving in like 2 hours, and I caught that son of a bitch on fire. And there's a security camera looking off, probably about 15 feet from me and about 10 feet up in the air, pointing right down at me trying to deal with this fire in my pit. And I open it up, and of course, I think I lost my eyebrows and maybe my eyelashes.
Jesus.
It was a ball of fire. And I'm wearing a hoodie, and I'm like, fuck, all the food that's going to be, that I'm serving at this wedding is in there. And I'm like, I got to get it. So I put the hoodie on. I pulled my best Kenny and just had my little eye sticking out like that. And then wrapped my hands inside of the sleeves and started diving in, pulling out whole racks and just dropping them on the ground and just one after the other. Oh my God. Crazy as shit. Whoever the security guards were had to be fucking having a field fucking day watching this shit.
Please send the footage to hello@smokelesspodcast.com.
It was almost a total disaster. Oh my God. That was so wild. But yeah, those things will catch fire quickly. So we have to keep that temp lower. We can bump it up a bit once we get inside on the brick pit and then just continue the rotation.
So nuts. Do you guys actually even cook in the backyard anymore, or if ever?
Yeah, occasionally. Like if we have events, if we're catering 200, 300, 400 people, it's too much food to interrupt a normal cook. If it's on an off day, I can cook on the Sunday and hold Sunday night to the Monday service. That's fine.
Your backyard, Wayne.
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
Hey, listen, when
don't tell the health department though.
When we first got started at Pecan Lodge at the farmers market, we were living in Frisco, which is about a 30 or 40 minute drive down the toll road in Dallas. And I would cook on our trailer pit in the driveway at our house and drive that down the toll road with a fire burning in the back. There would be coals like dancing out the back of the pit as I was going down the toll road. And then we'd load the pit with brisket at the end of the day, and I'd drive it back to Frisco with those briskets on the pit cooking, and I'd spend the night, and it was the only way to get it done. It was the only way to get it done.
Do what you got to do, son.
Yeah, man. Barbecue is, by its very nature, demands that stories become a part of the journey. Like it's impossible to separate barbecue and stories. They're just synonymous with each other. They're the symbiosis between the two it's like they were absolutely made for each other, because barbecue people have to go through the craziest shit to get things done. And the stories that all of you guys have, I guarantee, even backyard cooks, the stories that they have are just as incredibly entertaining. Some of the most entertaining shit you can ever imagine.
I hope that we'll get some of those that we can share. Pictures help tell the story too, by the way. big time.
Burn your shit up. We got your solution. Goldbelly tomorrow.
Exactly.
Your house.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that if you guys manage to just take a picture of some food that you destroyed so epically, but you still need to feed everybody and you don't know what to do, here's my suggestion. I think it's a good one. Goldbelly.com. You can order barbecue from Louie Mueller BBQ, Pecan Lodge, or Stanley's Famous. You can get it in 1 or 2 days, unwrap it, serve it in your backyard. You don't have to even tell anybody. It's our secret. They'll think you cooked it. It's going to be amazing. And we'll even give you a promo code to get $20 off your first Goldbelly order if you order from Stanley's, Louie Mueller, or Pecan Lodge. That's going to be up on the screen here right now. Enter this code, get $20 off, serve it. Don't tell anybody. Everyone will think that you're amazing. To make it easy, we got links in the description. There's links to our barbecue joints to get that Goldbelly discount. Just hit the bio, hit the description, order from goldbelly.com. Get Texas barbecue shipped straight to your door nationwide. Thanks for joining us this week. As always, from Justin, Wayne, and myself, thanks for listening to Smokeless. Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.